Today, I'm gonna be telling you facts that you probably didn't know about every single fruit that's ever existed in Blox Fruit. Like, did you know if you came into the secret room under the field of flowers in the second sea, you can talk to this windlock doghouse over here, and woof woof, yo bro, purchase a physical rocket fruit for 97 Robux. Yeah, that is pocket change, give it to me. And you could do the same thing in the third sea, just right outside the mansion over here. There's a windlock doghouse once again, here to scam me out of my Robux. 97 Robux for one physical kilo rocket. I don't even know what I'm buying. Now, if you even passed kindergarten level math, then you would know that is the greatest scam of all time, because you could purchase a permanent rocket fruit for just 50 Robux. So for the price of almost 2 permanents, you could just buy a physical. Who would have thought Windlock is the greatest scammer in Blox Fruit's history? But that is not even the biggest scam. The biggest scam is that they allow you to actually buy this as much as you want. There is no limit to how many kilo fruits they will sell you. Look at this thing. I could just keep buying it. All right, now it's getting dark. I went ahead and purchased 20 of these physical rocket fruits just to prove to you guys that they'll just keep letting you buy it. Like, they don't care. They'll take your money. Let's try to stack these, actually. Oh, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Now, the spin fruit along with the rocket are the only 2 fruits in the entire game that are always on stock at the Blox Fruits dealer. These fruits are so bad, no one wants to buy them, so they're never sold out. So if you really wanted to, you could get the spin fruit pretty much anytime. It's almost like a permanent, as long as you have 7,500 berries. But it wasn't always this cheap, guys, because did you know before Update 17 Part 3 released, the spin fruit used to cost 180,000 berries. And by the way, if you wanted to purchase the permanent spin right now, it would be 75 Robux, whereas previously it used to cost 380 Robux. You can't make that up. That is the same amount as a permanent spike, which is a miniature dough. So, you know, definitely not the same. Yeah, way too overpriced for a fruit that does this. All right, next up, we got the chop fruit. Now, it is very well known that with the chop fruit, you're immune to sword slashes because you can chop your body up into pieces. So obviously, you can't get hurt by things that's supposed to chop your body up into pieces. Look at that. You look like a cartoon character when you're being chopped up. But what makes the chop fruit especially OP is that it is also immune to the effects of the sword, such as burn damage, electric shocks, and even freezing. So for example, I got my Rengoku with the burning blessing on it. I know you're jealous. And Shade here has the chop fruit equipped, and we're gonna try to slash him here. Not only does it not damage him, he does not get burnt. And even the skills on the Rengoku won't even burn him. Look at that. He's literally being set on fire and is dodging the flame by separating his body. Blox Fruit's physics is undefeated. Next up, we got the spring fruit. What special hidden fact could this thing possibly have, right? Well, it actually has a very special one. You see, the spring leap is actually one of the fastest mobility skills in the entire game. On the surface, it doesn't look like it because if I just go spring leap, I just teleport that far. It doesn't really get me anywhere. But if I were to use it and continuously bounce off walls, then that's a totally different story. So I'll be using my spring leap to race against Shade's Awakened Life Flight over here, and I've actually demonstrated this in a previous video before. We'll be going all the way across this bridge to see who can make it faster on my go. Spring leap! Fly! Fly! Come on, let's go! Look how fast this is! Woo! We made it! He's still flying! This guy, bro, why are you so slow? You're literally traveling at the speed of light. The life fruit sucks. Race you back. You start, bro. I'm gonna get you a head start. I'm gonna give you a head start. Don't matter. Oh my god, no! Never mind. Next up, we got the mythical bomb fruit. What used to be the cheapest fruit in the entire game at 5,000 berries now cost a whopping 80,000. And for good reason too. This thing received a total revamp during one of the recent updates and is now completely overpowered. Did you know that one of the bomb fruit skills has the potential to deal the highest amount of damage out of any other skill in the entire game? And that would be the bomb C skill, the landmines. I'm about to lay them down here, and once again, Shades here is gonna be my guinea pig. He's gonna walk into every single mine. Let's see how much damage we can deal. All right, go ahead, bro. He's walking. Look at that. We're at 15, 11K, 12K. 14K? Oh, but the chain ended, but we still killed him with a few mines left to spare, everybody. Now, of course, in an actual real-world PvP, the chances of your opponent stepping on every landmine you have is literally slim to none, but unless, of course, you're me, I one-shot my opponents with it every single time. And, of course, also, I have only a measly 278 mastery on my bomb fruit, so if you somehow manage to get your bomb to 600 mastery and get your opponent to step on every single landmine, you could potentially deal 31,000 1,325 damage in one attack. No other fruit in the game even comes close. Now, did you know the smoke fruit was the cheapest elemental fruit in the entire game? In fact, it is the only elemental fruit that is of the common rarity. Now, does that make it the worst elemental fruit in the entire game? Yes, it does actually. But that doesn't mean the smoke fruit doesn't have some cool features to it. Like the F move, Smoke Bomber, not only does it allow your character to freely fly around the map, it also drops smoke bombs under you. So you could just technically fly above your opponents and just keep dropping bombs on them until they die. Look at that. This is especially useful when you're fighting against enemies that have aura and is able to hit elemental users. You could just pretty much just fly around above them until they die. Let's talk about the spike for a second. This thing literally got the opposite treatment of the spin. They just swapped places. Whereas this fruit used to be worth 7,500 berries, it is now worth a whopping 180k. Now that is a major glow up if I've ever seen one. Same with the Robux. The permanent used to cost 75 and the new permanent cost 380. So congratulations, buying a permanent spike was actually a wiser choice than buying Tesla stocks. Now, comparing the spike to another fruit, many people like to call it the Walmart dough because of the similarities that they have. Particularly the spike Z move, where these spikes coming out of the ground, it's almost an exact replica of the dough's pastry river, the X move. Look at that. Just a much bigger spike. The other similarity they share is the spike C move, the spike ball. You become a rolling Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, of course, the train eye, that is practically identical to the dough's scorching donut skill. Yeah, so if you don't have the dough for the actual dough, just order dough from Temu. Next up, we got the flame. This is the first uncommon fruit on our list and the second cheapest elemental fruit in the entire game. So fun fact about the flame, it is the first ever fruit to receive an awakening, and not only that, it is the cheapest fruit out of all these 12 to get an awakening. Hiken! Now, the Falcon or Walmart Phoenix is very well known for being a terrible fruit, but what is not well known about it, it is actually categorized as a beast type fruit. It's our first beast type fruit on the list. Look at this. But as a beast type fruit, it is actually the only one in the entire game that does not receive a transformation. The only thing you get is the plumage. Yeah, you just get a couple of wings. And the crappy thing about this is if you don't have the plumage equipped, you can't even use any of the other skills. Like I'm pressing X, C, V, F, it doesn't work. So the fact that there's 5 skills on this fruit is just a complete illusion. There's only 4 and all 4 of them suck. Like, look at this skill. Is this a literal joke? All right, let's move on. We're not talking about this trash fruit any longer. All right, we got the ice fruit. This fruit is the easiest one to obtain in the entire game that also has an M1 ability. So when you have the ice fruit equipped, you pull out this trident that is made out of ice. The cool thing about the ice fruit is the F move, which is the ice skating, where you can traverse not only on just land with the ice, but also in the water. Not only that, you can also use the F move to scale walls. Look at that! Tell me that's not the fastest way you could get up to the top of this tower. Now we're working with the ninja sand fruit. Not sure why he has like a ninja headband on, but honestly, it looks all right. And what's interesting about the sand is it is the only fruit in the entire game that gives you a negative passive ability. So if you didn't know, if you have the sand fruit and jump into the water, you die twice as fast. Look at that. Let's do a side-by-side comparison with literally any other fruit. Yeah, that is a big difference. Avoid the water at all costs. Now, this is obviously based off of the anime in One Piece. Crocodile, who has the sand fruit, is known to not be able to touch water because it'll make him very weak. Honestly, for a pirate, that is the worst devil fruit of all time. 70% of the human body is made out of water. How does this fruit even function? Is he not human? Now we got the alien tentacle dark fruit. Now, a little fun fact about this one. To you regular noobs out there, you might think that there's only one mobility move, which is the ghastly step right here, F. Boom, teleports you. But if you were a professional runner like me, then you would be able to take advantage of another skill that allows you to teleport, which is the Z move, the dimensional slash. So if you were in a PvP and you ran out of your ghastly step and you want to trick your opponent by teleporting away from them, all you have to do is hit them with a dimensional slash and you instantaneously teleport. But of course, you have to hit an enemy nearby in order to do that, but it is still a very good strategy in saving your life. Very fast indeed. Okay, up next, we have the diamond fruit. This fruit, of course, has the well-known ability of encrust, which gives you a defensive buff. It turns you into glowing toothpaste. And just for reference, when the diamond boss hits me, I take 506.7 damage. When I have my encrust on, that damage goes down to 380. And when I have encrust as well as my aura on, you can't see that it's activated, it goes down to 269. That is a 47% damage reduction buff. Another cool fact, much less useful, is when you're using the diamond hail and aim behind objects, it just goes through them. It doesn't matter where you are, it just goes right through. All right, the light fruit, possibly one of the most popular fruits in the entire game. It literally got reworked by the developers like 7 times. I think this is their favorite fruit as well. But surprisingly, there's not that many cool facts about the light fruit. One thing to know is the interesting way the light flight actually works. So of course, if you're using the unawakened version, you can only fly in a straight line, just like light. But if you have the awakened version, you are able to somewhat control your flight, but you can only turn at 45-degree angles exactly. Another fun fact about the light flight is if you hit any surface, you just bounce right off, just like the real physical properties of the light. Boing. Boing. Except the water. You do not bounce off water, so do not try to fly into it. You will drown. Right? And of course, as I just drowned there a little bit, the lower your health is, the slower your flight becomes. And which really sucks because the light flight was already not at the speed of light. All right, let's talk about the rubber fruit. Very legendary, of course, in One Piece, the Nika, but in Blox fruits, not so much. But it does have a very interesting feature to itself. The rubber fruit technically has the most amount of immunities out of every other fruit in the entire game, such as the chop. The most famous immunity, of course, being against the rumble. We're gonna test it on Shade once again here. He's our test dummy for the day. None of the rumble attacks works on the rubber because the rubber is an insulator and does not conduct electricity. Just like in One Piece when Luffy completely pummeled Enel. And very similar to the rumble, also made out of electricity, is the electric fighting style, to which the rubber is also immune. Look at that. Isn't that great? Here's where things start to make less sense because the skills on the pole, which is technically electricity, does end up hitting the rubber user. Yeah, that makes no sense at all, man. What? But don't worry, because the rubber has another immunity in store for us, and that is the gun. Bullets should technically just bounce off of a rubber, although in this game, they just completely go through. Not even a freaking bow and arrow should not pierce a rubber. Like, that makes no sense. Not even acid, bro. All right, how about a bazooka? A bazooka must be able to hit the rubber. Point blank range, straight to his face. Even a freaking guitar. Come on, Blox fruits. There has to be some inconsistencies. All right, on to everybody's favorite troll fruit, the barrier. Look at that beautiful smile. How could you not love this fruit, huh? So obviously the barrier fruit is great for trolling, just completely blocking off your opponent's paths, doing random stupid stuff like this. But if you use your barrier prison and also aim really high in the sky, you're able to shoot your enemies off into the distance. Look at them. All right, the ghost fruit. Super scary and terrifying. Fun fact, this used to be called the revive fruit before it was totally revamped, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So this is the only fruit in the game that have a very special passive ability, and it's called a resurrection. So after you die with this ability, you will actually be revived at 50% health. For example, I'm gonna let these weak NPCs try to kill me. Keyword is try. It would be pretty difficult. There you go. See, we died and we came back at exactly half our health. But what's really cool is it doesn't just stay at the halfway mark. It actually can recover back to full health. So you technically get 2 lives with this fruit. Another cool thing about the resurrection is that it stays with you forever. So for example, even if I were to switch to a rock... Look at this ghost rocket. Yeah, even if I were to switch to this ghost rocket fruit right here, I will remain in my resurrected state, okay? I don't just automatically die and my ghost effect is gone. I'm still a ghost. Boo. This next one shouldn't even be like a hidden fact. It should just be common sense because if you have the magma fruit equipped, you actually do not take any damage from lava. Now, this really shouldn't be as surprising and it would make a lot of sense if you just thought about it because you're literally made out of magma and that's what lava is magma. Now, what doesn't really make a lot of sense is you're also able to walk on water with magma, which science? I don't know, man. I gotta call up Bill Nye for this one. I'm not too sure. But guess what, guys? That's the least interesting fact about the Magma. The Magma also has a secret talent. The Magma shower actually has one of the longest ranges in the entire game. And I don't mean if you just shoot it out like this, it actually doesn't really go that far, right? But what I mean is these projectiles can go up to 2,500 meters if you shoot them down from the sky. So we're gonna take a ride into space real quick. All right, guys, I'm literally so high up, I feel like I'm about to reach the moon. I think this is a good point to stop. So as you can see, the island beneath me is so tiny we could barely see it. And we're about to hit it with a magma shower, all right? Launch them down to the ground. All right, let's land with it. See what happens. It's a literal meteor ring, and they all hit the ground. You see how far these things can go? Most moves will just disappear mid-air. All right, moving on to our first legendary, we got the most destructive power in the entire world, the Quake. Which is very fitting because the Awakened V move, the Quake, actually has the biggest AoE out of every single move in the entire game. It could destroy entire islands. For demonstration purposes, we'll test it out on Pirate Starter right here. Here we go, Quake! Oh my god, yep, this entire island's going down under. Everybody's drowning, everything dies, let's go. Nobody is safe. The Buddha fruit is quite possibly the most popular fruit in the entire game, and for good reason, because it is the best fruit you can use for grinding, leveling up. And also, I would say it's pretty good at PvPs. You know, I'm a huge proponent of the Buddha M1 spam strategy. So you guys probably already know everything about the Buddha from its Titan shift, straight out of Attack on Titan, as well as the insane defensive buff and extra range that it gives you. But I want to spend a minute to talk about this cool aura that's around the Buddha and these symbols right here. Have you ever wondered what they actually mean? Well, I have the definitions right here. So on the inner ring, we have Chinese or Japanese symbols, and here's what they mean. So we got grass, body, heart, soul, fire, water, wind, and stone. Sound like the assembly of all the Demon Slayer Hashiras. And on the outside ring, the symbols are actually derived from Elder Futhark runes, and they represent wealth, God, gift, horse, heritage, pear tree, the god Ingwas, man, yew tree, elk, good year, joy, sun, day, journey, and birch. And these are also the symbols of the Colosseum quest. All right, so the fact about the love fruit is very interesting, right? Because for pretty much every fruit in the game, when you're using the F ability, you can't use any other skill. The Phoenix Flight obviously doesn't count because you just automatically fly as a Phoenix. But with the love fruit, when you're using the Flamingo Ride, you're actually able to use the rest of your Devil Fruit abilities. Look at that. We can even summon our Besto Friendo to attack our enemies. Oh, look, it's Kados. Kill him, Kados! What's also interesting about this is obviously you can't use your fighting style sword or gun, but apparently when you're on console and on a controller, you can use all those things. Fighting style, sword, gun, fruit, whatever it is. I don't know, I never tested this because I don't have a console. So for those console players, let me know in the comments if that's true, because if it is, that would be absolutely broken. All right, up next, if you didn't know, the spider fruit is actually the only fruit in the entire game that is named after a creature, but is not categorized as a beast or zoan type fruit. It is actually a natural. It's a paramecia. Eating this fruit only allows the user to control and manipulate strings, but does not actually turn you into a spider, which is very disappointing. I'm sure there are many new players who first got the fruit. They were super excited thinking they were going to turn into Spider-Man. Sorry to disappoint you, man. That's just not happening. Actually, you kind of do turn into Spider-Man a little bit. Whee! Another cool thing about the spider fruit, its V move, the Heavenly Punishment, actually changes color based on your aura. So right now, I have the Soda Orange, I think it's called, as you can see. And when I use the Heavenly Punishment, it turns into Soda Orange. Look at that. Here it is in Snow White. Yeah, it's mostly just gray. But the coolest one, of course, has got to be the Rainbow Savior, the one that's constantly changing colors. Here we go. Look at that. Green, blue. Try that again. What other color can we get? We got some purple, pink. Gonna turn red. Hell yeah, bro. Okay, the sound fruit is actually very special. I know I said this about a lot of fruits before, but this one truly is. Because this fruit was actually the first ever fan-made fruit that was added into the game after somebody won a art competition in the Blox Fruits Discord server. As you can see here, this was the original concept that was made, and the final fruit looks very similar to what is here. It's just that whoever designed this fruit was much more generous and was trying to sell this fruit at 900k. Blox Fruits made it 1.8 million. Money grab! Alright, we got the Phoenix! Did you know the Phoenix Unawakened X move actually heals you faster than the Awakened X move? See, I don't know if this is a fact or not. I just read it somewhere and I never tested it out. So we'll do a side-by-side comparison and see what's faster. So could you guys tell the difference? Was that facts or false? All right, the portal fruit. Fact, if you have money to buy one permanent fruit in the entire game, it should be this one. Trust me on this, you'll thank me later. What's really cool about the portal is if you ever encounter a sea event like this haunted ghost ship over here, at the simple click of the dimensional rift button, the V move, boom, and you just have to come back to reality and bam, the sea event is completely gone. In case you missed it, let me demonstrate it again. All right, here we go. I've been searching forever for a Terra Shark to appear. We're about to make him disappear though. Domain expansion! Oh my god, almost died from that, bro. And he is completely gone. Would you look at that? And our boat is perfectly safe, see? If you're ever out hunting for the Leviathan, for example, be sure to have a portal user in your party to make these Terra Sharks disappear. They're very handy. Let's get ready to rumble! Fun fact, eating the rumble fruit will actually turn you into the Thunder God. Yum, 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 yum. Boom! Yeah, Enel. You turn into Enel, the Thunder God. Look at that. So another fact about the Rumble fruit, it is the only fruit in the game where you need its full awakening in order to unlock a sword. As you can see right now, I got the PoV1. I'm about to finish the Rumble raid. Let me go ahead and kill this dude off. So once you fully awaken your Rumble fruit, you'll be teleported to this very small island where you can speak to the Thunder God that will give you the PoV2. I mean, I already own this item because I'm already the Thunder God. But let's just pretend I didn't and I just awakened my PoV2, which is not just a V2 version, it's literally another sword. Alright, it literally pains me to say this, like no pun intended, because this pain fruit has literally not been changed or updated since it originally dropped during like update 7 or 8. So there's really nothing to talk about other than they changed the way the fruit looks, and of course it was originally called Paw and now it's called Pain. I guess the only notable thing about this fruit is there was a poll created to ask the fans if they wanted to see a Rumble or Pain awakening during update 14, and of course the fans selected Rumble, so you can kind of blame yourself for the Pain never receiving an update. A cool fact about the Blizzard fruit is it is the second elemental fruit to not have an awakening, the first one being the Smoke. It is also the second most expensive elemental fruit, sitting underneath the dough, so it is really just like, it comes second to everything. Alright, now we're moving into the mythical category. First up on the list, we have the Gravity fruit. The Gravity V move, the Meteor Rain, you can actually control its movement, its pattern. So if you wanted to, you can make it go in a straight line just like this. Perfect straight line. Or let's say you don't like straight lines. Maybe you like circles. There we go. We made a circular circular shape. That was pretty good, eh? Or if you want to get just really artistic with it, you can just make it disperse all over the place, wherever you want. Look, they just land everywhere. Pretty dope. Yeah, I was today years old when I found out. How about you guys? Maybe, hopefully, I taught you something new. Probably not. You guys know everything about this game, nerds. So did you know the Mammoth fruit and the next one we're talking about, the T-Rex, actually cost the exact same 2.7 million berries or 2,350 Robux? It's funny that these fruits are so intertwined because they share a lot of similarities, such that the T-Rex and the Mammoth are both extinct. They're dead, never coming back. Another cool fact about the Mammoth is when you're using the untransformed version of the fruit, you actually get to see a silhouette of the Mammoth fruit in its transformed form. So this is kind of like a sneak preview before you have to get 300 mastery just to unlock the transformation. But it's not just a Mammoth fruit. If you didn't know, these twin hooks also show a silhouette of the Mammoth. Look at this. You see that Mammoth? Can we pause right there? These twin hooks dropped in update 15, so they've been hinting at the Mammoth fruit for a while now. Obviously not surprising because the twin hooks are Jack the Drought's weapons. Who was a Mammoth in One Piece? Shocker. Alright, we got the T-Rex. Fun fact, did you know the T-Rex cost the same amount as the Mammoth? Nah, that's not it. One fact about the T-Rex fruit is you get a tail that comes with it. It's for cosmetic purposes only and grants you no buffs whatsoever. Kind of looks a little creepy, I'm not even gonna lie. What's really cool is along with the Fury meter that you can fill up to transform into an actual T-Rex, it has a passive where if you hit an enemy, an NPC, they get hit with like a prey mark right there on top of their head, you see that? And this thing does tick damage, and the further away you are from your enemy, the more damage it deals. Look at that, it just dies on its own as I'm running away. Perfect for runners, you know? go. Alright, moving on. Oh my god, it's getting late. Did you know the dough fruit sucks? Did you know that? Yeah, that's a fact. Probably just up like 90% of Blox Fruits players with that statement. Nah, but seriously, remember how we were talking about dough being an elemental type fruit? Well, it wasn't always like that. When the dough was originally released, it was categorized as natural, which would be paramecia in One Piece terms for you weebs. It got changed to elemental just due to its elemental immunity effects. Because originally, when you used the dough fruit without instinct, you would get hit by your enemies, but if you activate instinct, then you would have the elemental immunity. But now I guess you just have elemental immunity all the time. Kinda lame, to be honest. Also, I gotta leave you off with this. Very similar to the string abilities, depending on the color of your hotkey, your dough moves actually change colors. So check this out. Look at that. The aura color changes. Isn't that cool? All right, we got the shadow. So the shadow also has its own unique meter, kind of like the sound fruit, for example. This is called the Umbra meter. So the Umbra meter does many things. First of all, there's two ways to fill up your Umbra meter. One is by dealing damage with your shadow's abilities, and number two, it automatically fills up when it's nighttime. Right now it's bright, so that's not gonna happen. We gotta do it ourselves. Take matters into our own hands, huh? And there you go. So you see, as your Umbra meter fills up, you get this cool shadow, galactic, galaxy-looking aura around you. And pretty much what happens is the Umbra meter drains your Corvus Torment. And this is your Gomu Gomu no balloon move right here. And it just traps your enemies in eternal shadows, and little bats come and eats them alive. Pretty brutal, honestly. And allow me to demonstrate how the Umbra meter fills up on its own when the sun sets. Just give it a minute here. It's very slow. Yeah, say goodbye to the sun. I hate the sun, man. Anybody who don't touch grass or go outside hates the sun. Next up, we have the Venom. I just wanted to show you guys the fruit. Make sure I store this. That's my only Venom left. I don't want to lose it by accident. What's very interesting about the Venom is, although it has a Fury meter and a transformation, just like every other beast fruit in the entire game, this one is actually not a beast type fruit. And although it has similar properties to Logia, like spewing out venom, having these droopy things, kind of like the Magma that does damage when your opponent walk on it, it's also not an elemental fruit. So weird, right? Yeah, the Venom is actually a natural type, which many people are confused about. No elemental immunity. You're gonna find out the hard way. Another fun fact, the Venom has a F move, which is called the Serpent's Wrath, and this move actually goes faster as your health decreases. It's like the opposite of the light fruit. So right now is my normal flight speed, and let's get beat up by this Dragon Crew warrior for a little bit. Just get completely beat on. Now it's my new speed. Look how much faster I am. We zoom in, boys. We zoom in. All right, we got this adorable looking control fruit coming up next. So very similar to the Falcon fruit, you cannot use the control fruit unless you activate the first move, the control area. Vroom! But the cool thing about the control is the X move, the levitate, is actually the move with the shortest cooldown in the entire game. I think it's like 1 second, bro. It's so fast. Not very effective, though. Okay, next up, we got the Spirit. Honestly speaking, I shouldn't be giving you facts about this fruit because clearly I don't even use it. I mean, I don't even have all the skills unlocked. Look at this. That's pathetic. So the Spirit also has a bar to itself. Now, this is the Spirit counter. Whatever the number says is how many spirits or buddies that you can summon. I just wanted to point out that these things beside you, this little devil and this little angel, actually have names. And their names are Ra and Shu. Isn't that cool? I didn't know that. So Ra, of course, being the fire move, is being thrown out by this little fireball devil thing. And the Shu is an ice move, which is used by this angel. Next, fact about the dragon fruit, it is never receiving its revamp update. All right, let's move on. Next up is the mythical leopard fruit, another beast type. Blox Fruits loves beast fruits. Okay, that's one fact you should know about Blox Fruits. But with the leopard transformation as a beast type, did you notice that this is the only... What the hell was that? Can we slow that down? What was that? Did you notice that this is the only fruit in the game where you get a hybrid transformation? Because I'm pretty sure leopards don't walk on 2 legs and do not wear tight yoga pants. Yeah, this is the only hybrid form. Also, as a side note, for some reason, leopards are just completely immune to the lava. Yeah, I guess leopards, they don't feel hot. Jesus walked on water, leopard walked on magma. What's more impressive? Another fun fact about the leopard fruit is using the spiral kick in midair actually resets your sky jumps. Look at this. So I'm jumping, I ran out. Spiral kick. Now I'm jumping again. You can just keep jumping. You can fly as a leopard. All right, fact about the Kitsune fruit. It is actually the second ever fan-made fruit in the entire game. First, of course, being the sound concept that was originally done. And honestly, the final product is very similar to the end result, except the fact that it costs 8 million berries instead of 4.5 million. Why is this so expensive? And also, Kitsune has its own custom meter here. This is the tail meter. As the number of tails go up, you go from a regular human that can walk into a furry that runs on all fours. Not sure how you would feel about this. I get a little creeped out sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. And of course, you can now transform into the Kitsune until you get all 3 tails maxed out. I don't know of any other beast fruits in the game where the transformation lets other players mount you. Honestly, it's kind of sus. I wish this wasn't a feature in the game. But the players that mounted the Kitsune are actually able to go anywhere the Kitsune is able to go, including areas of the map that is locked as well as raids. Another fact about the Kitsune fruit that it shares similarities with the rocket. Can you believe that? Yeah, the Kitsune and the rocket are the only 2 fruits you can get from an NPC that is not the Blox fruits gacha. The rocket, of course, being Windlock, and the Kitsune is from the Kitsune Shrine. Apparently, it's a very, very small chance. I've done the shrine like 100 times and I have not even come near a Kitsune, so honestly, I don't even know if that's a fact or a myth. But wait, we're not even done yet. There's a couple of fruits that used to exist in the game that has been removed, wiped from Blox fruits history, but we're gonna bring them back and honor them by talking about facts of them. So the kilo fruit used to be the cheapest fruit in the game, not this new imposter, the rocket, and it used to cost 5,000 bellies or 50 robux for the permanent. And nobody showed the kilo any love until it was removed from the game. All of a sudden, everyone was the kilo fruit's #1 fan. Well, nobody was except me. I made a whole video about the kilo fruit. That's how much I loved it. I was bounty hunting with the kilo fruit, okay? I'm the OG. And as you saw from the very beginning of the video, when you purchase a physical rocket from Windlock, it actually still says the kilo. So you know that it was a kilo before the rocket. One other thing, I guess this is the only way Blox Fruits is honoring the loving memory of the kilo fruit, is it still lives on in the form of the Kilo Admiral right here. Yeah, the Kilo Admiral still uses the kilo fruit. They never removed this. So I guess the coding, the scripts for the kilo still in the game. They just gotta bring it back eventually. And one final fun fact about the kilo is the F move is only able to bring you vertically upwards. It does not go any other direction, unique to only this beautiful, gorgeous fruit. Rest in peace to its poor soul. And speaking of soul, the soul used to be a fruit in the game before they renamed it to the spirit. Ugh. Ugh. And of course, like I was saying earlier, the soul used to have buddies and not spirits. And there was a sun and a cloud right beside it, just like Prometheus and Zeus in One Piece standing beside Big Mom. These were all the buddies that used to exist. It was that this ugly tree is still there. But there used to be a lollipop, a flower, and bro, I didn't even know there was a freaking cannon. And as you can see from when I showcased the spirit fruit from almost 2 years ago, my mastery barely changed. I literally never used this thing. And of course, there used to be a fruit called Revive before they changed it to Ghost. The Revive fruit, honestly, I loved a lot more because when you die, you don't just come back as a green glowing thing. You turn into a literal skeleton. Come on, that's just hilarious. Also, the F move, the Wandering Soul, was a little creepy. When you fly, you leave your physical body. I get your body is still there, but you're just a soul flying around. And then we have the Door fruit, which is the current portal. Honestly, I don't have much memory of it. Everything was pretty much the same, except there was no domain expansion, and the door was green. And then we have the meme fruit. I mean, I don't personally have it, but it existed in the game. This fruit is technically tradable, but apparently the value is infinite, so you actually can't trade anything with it. And it is not possible to obtain in any way except through the owners giving this power to you. So the power of the meme fruit basically just gives you the ability to clap your hands Toto style, just spawn pylons on the ground. That's all it does. Apparently, from the words of a former Blox Fruits admin, Norb, it gives you radiation poisoning, but I don't buy that. Finally, did you think I would forget about the legend? No. Mythical, no, the godly Leopard. The only fact you need to know about the Leopard is it is the best fruit that's never existed in Blox Fruit. All right, that's about it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.